Hey guys, Jordan here, and I am ready to respond to your questions, Adam. I thought they were brilliantly asked. Simple, almost cliche, but bring up excellent points and to the core of what is life really all about. And so I just want to start off. What is love to you? Man, I just started thinking about the first things that just kind of came to my mind. I thought of selfless. I thought of sacrifice. Putting others before myself, kind of to just start that off. And I just kind of dove into that, and honestly, it's an open door to trust. It's where you get to be you, and I get to be me, and it's this safe place of freedom, not freedom to do whatever, but freedom to be myself and have a relationship with you, and that's it right there. What's important to you is important to me. And that's a lesson I'm kind of learning right now myself in some relationships. And it's tough. It's tough. When you have no interest in something else that to one of your friends, they're a geek about, or it's just something silly like that. And I think that's really important, is just taking interest in others and what they like, what they care about, And I think about, in a different perspective, I also think, love is a verb. And we've all heard that before. Love is a verb, and it's action. It's not a feeling. And it makes me think of, like you're filling a voidless area. You're meeting a need. And that's so crucial. That's so important. It's like, I see something here. This needs to happen. It makes me think of compassion. The word compassion simply means, your heart breaks in something in a certain area, and you go and bring restoration. You do something about it, ultimately, out of love. That's what compassion is. And it makes me think of Jesus. You look at the scriptures, you look at the gospel. He said, you'll read, out of compassion, Jesus did this. Jesus witnessed something. He witnessed something with his own eyes, and he was moved inside, and then he did something about that. And to me, compassion is love. Love is meeting a need. And so that's me summing up my answer to your question there. What drives me to love? Man, I probably wouldn't be a great lover if I didn't know I was a good son who had a good daddy in heaven. I mean, my encounters with Jesus and with the Father have shaped me to be a lover to people today. And it's something that I will always be able to gauge myself with. However well I treat others and love others is ultimately my relationship with the Lord. And everyone deserves to be loved. They deserve it, whether they know it or not. I mean, we are Jesus to each other. And we need to wake up and realize that, we're not perfect in every area, but if we have Christ in us, we are Christ to others. And that drives me to love people, is that I get to be Jesus to people. I'm not putting myself on a pedestal that I'm a God. I get to reflect the image of God. The Apostle Paul said to be imitators of Christ. Be imitators of Christ. It's like, man, what a privilege that is. It's like, man, we get to carry that. We get to represent that. And to me, that drives me to just love people. And it's like, I don't care what kind of person you are. I don't care what you've done. I mean, I'm ready to hear your stories. And I heard some great stories just today at work. And so that's that right there. This next question, Adam, how can we as society learn to love and not fear our neighbors? Oh man, I could go on for that for a long time. So I'm going to try and sum that up very shortly, very quickly. Number one point is, the minute that we stop focusing on ourselves and we create a focus where we're focusing on others and meeting others' needs, that's the instant that this world changes. And when we stop reacting out of fear. Life is not a competition. I think we try to compare to other people's successes or failures, and we try to create a standard out of, they're driving a Maserati, I'm driving a Honda Accord. It's like, oh man, I just haven't reached that level, but that dude's driving a Lumina over there. I mean, man, I'm doing better than him. It's like stuff like that. Like when we need to stop with that kind of thinking. It's shallow, it's narrow-minded, I mean, what's the point of your life if you're going to think like that? You don't seem free because you're just reacting to others. You're not setting a tone. You're not setting a vision or a direction for yourself like that. We're attention whores in today's society. We love attention. We like to be loved, and we pride ourselves on getting, receiving, me, 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 and right there, gifts, Xboxes, video games, money, girls, whatever, it's when it's all about fulfilling my needs. And that goes back to, what I was originally saying. I'm not saying it's bad that we want attention either. I mean, we're designed to want attention from others, and that's part of relationships. That's part of love, is that giving and receiving, and giving other people's our full and undivided attention. I think the big thing though for me is that life is not a competition, and I fight with that myself with a successful older brother he's married, he's got 2 kids, he's got a dog, he's got a great job, his wife's got a great job, and I'm like, man, I look at their family, I'm like, man, they got a great house, they got everything. It just seems like the American dream, and I'm like, man, and I'm like, here I am in Bemidji, scraping by, starting to make a little bit more money, but what the heck is going on? And it's just really easy for me to just start comparing. How can we learn to love? Another thing I wanted to bring up is we need to just celebrate people. We need to stop shaming, stop putting people in the light on their crap, and we need to start calling people to greatness. Bottom line, we need to celebrate people's successes. And when I say successes, I'm not talking about huge achievements. I'm talking about the smallest little things. People need to believe in themselves, and I didn't grow up believing in myself, and it took me a while to find people that started believing in me, started telling me, hey, go after your dreams, man, go after your heart. What's on your heart? People started showing interest in me and what I wanted to do with my life. That did amazing things to me. I mean, I wouldn't be 3/4 of the person I am today if I didn't have those people. I wouldn't. Oh, man. I love Nike. Nike has some amazing T-shirts with these quotes. There are a lot of weird ones, but one of my favorites is "Nobody trains to be runner-up." That's what the shirt says. It's just a simple text right across the chest. Nobody trains to be runner-up. Man, that convicts me. I'm like, what if that was our mindset and like just being awesome in life, And that quote itself implies a greatness calling. It implies a life of excellence, of training, of discipline. And going back to your question, Adam, it's not about putting people on a pedestal. It's about believing in people. And culture has changed so much where there's so much downward pressure on people to perform or to degrade or to say you're not good enough. And right now I'm seeing this movement in America. I see it on news channels all the time. There are tons of talk about bullying. You hear all these stories about these gay teenagers committing suicide because of bullying and cyberbullying and just these other instances and stuff. That crap needs to stop. And it's this whole movement right now where it's just like this anti-bullying. I feel like there's something that's on the edge, that's on the verge of breakthrough in this area. And that's just one piece of the puzzle. It's going to take a huge shift. It's going to take a lot of people on board to start putting people up, bringing people up. And it goes back to what love is seeing people for who they really are, treating them like that. I'm over the 10-minute mark. I hope that you got something cool out of this. So those are my answers. Adam, Annie, hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any feedback, let me know. Thanks. Love you guys.